Hello students, today the topic is switching characteristics of SCR during turn off. Okay, so already we have discussed switching characteristics of SCR during turn on. So let's start with the switching characteristics process or the parameters of the parameter characteristics of the parameters during turn off process of SCR or thyristor. Okay, so switching off of thyristor means turn off process of thyristor means what? Means it has changed from on state to off state. That means it has changed from forward conduction state to forward blocking state. That means on state to off state. Okay, so let's discuss what are the transient conditions of different parameters. What are the unstable conditions of the dynamic conditions of the different parameters during turn off process. Okay, so the dynamic process of SCR from conduction state to forward blocking state is called commutation process or turn off process. Okay, so commutation process of thyristor is mainly called as commutation process. Okay, and this is a dynamic process where thyristor switches from conduction state to forward blocking state. Okay, so how this process happened. So once the thyristor is on, gate losses control. I already told you, once the thyristor is on, gate losses control, the SCR can be turned off by reducing the anode current below the holding current. Already I told you about the holding current in the BI characteristics of SCR part. Okay, so holding current is the minimum level of anode current below which the thyristor is in off state. Okay, so to turn off the thyristor, we have to reduce the anode current below holding current. So if the forward voltage is applied to the SCR at the moment anode current falls to 0, the device will not be able to block this forward voltage. Why? Because there is presence of carriers, that means holes and electrons in the 4 layer. Okay, that means the holes and electrons or the carriers present in the 4 layers are still in favorable condition for conduction. Okay, so what we have to do to turn off the thyristor, we have to reduce the anode current below holding current, and after reducing the anode current, if again a forward voltage is applied across the SCR, at the moment the anode current falls to 0, the device will not able to block the forward voltage, as there are charge carriers, sufficient charge carriers are present in the 4 layers of the thyristor, and these charge carriers are still in favorable condition for conduction. Okay, so the device will therefore go into conduction immediately even though the gate signal is not applied. That means the anode current is falls to 0, that means it is below holding current level and there is no gate signal, but still if we apply the forward voltage across thyristor, then the device go into conduction immediately. Okay, without applying gate signal. Okay, so in order to avoid such type of occurrence, what we need to do, it is essential that the thyristor is reverse biased for a finite period of time after anode current reach 0 level. Okay, so we have to apply thyristor is reverse biased for a finite time after the anode current has reached 0 level. Okay, so the turn off time TQ is defined as the turn off time TQ is defined as the time between the instant, see here, time between the instant anode current becomes 0, here the anode current becomes 0, and the instant SCR regain forward blocking capability. TQ, this is the instant where the SCR regains its forward blocking capability. Okay, so turn off time is defined as the time between the instant anode current becomes zero and the instant SCR regains forward blocking capability. Here this is like just 1 minute. This is like this. Okay, so turn off time is defined as the time between the instant anode current becomes zero and the instant SCR regains its forward blocking capability. So during the time TQ, all the excess carriers from the four layers, let me draw first the four layer P, N, P, N. This is anode, this is cathode, this is gate. Okay, J1, J2, J3. So during the time TQ, all the excess carriers from the four layers of SCR must be removed. This removal of excess carrier consists of sweeping out holes from outer P layer and electrons from outer N layer. The carriers around junction J2 can be removed by only recombination. This removal of excess carriers consists of sweeping out of holes from outer P layer, electrons from outer N layer, and the carriers around junction J2 can be removed only by recombination. Okay. The turn-off time is divided into two intervals. That is, one is TRR plus TGR. TRR is the reverse recovery time and the TGR is the gate recovery time. Okay, so thyristor turn-off time, what happens during this time? That means the thyristor turn-off time is the time between the instant anode current becomes zero and the instant when the thyristor regains its forward blocking capability, this point. And what happens during this time? During this time, the excess carriers from the four layers are removed. And how these excess carriers are removed? The removal of excess carrier consists of sweeping out holes from P layer, sweeping out electrons from N layer, and whatever excess carriers present around junction J2 can be removed only by recombination process. Okay. Only by recombination process. Okay. So the turn-off time consists of TRR plus TGR, reverse recovery time, gate recovery time. So let's see what happened during these two time. Okay, so see, I have mentioned some time intervals, some time points T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. See, let's see what happened at this time and how what happened during this TRR time, during this TGR time, and overall what is the changes in the parameters during the turn-off process. Okay, so see, at instant T1 the anode current becomes zero. Okay, this is the commutation process occurred across the thyristor. Commutation process means turn-off process of thyristor. So once the commutation process applied, the thyristor goes to the turn-off process. That means initiation of turn-off process started. Here the di by dt slope means current starts decaying. Okay, So at instant t1 current becomes, now anode current becomes 0. Okay, so this is the stable state, means this is the conduction state, thyristor is an on state, and after this part, once the current starts falling, this, that means here the turn up process initiated. Okay, so at t1 anode current becomes 0. So after t1 anode current builds up in the reverse direction. See, this is builds up in the reverse direction with the same di by dt slope. So this is the di by dt slope. In the same di by dt slope, current build up in the reverse direction. Okay, the reason for this reversal of anode current after T1 is due to the presence of carriers stored in the 4 layers. So due to the presence of the carriers in the 4 layers, the current again starts build up in the reverse direction after reaching to the 0 level. Okay, so the reverse recovery current, this is the reverse recovery current. So this reverse recovery current flows due to the presence of charge carrier. So what happened while formation of this reverse recovery current? So during this reverse recovery current, what happens? This reverse recovery current removes excess carriers from the end junctions J1 and J3. Okay, between the instant T1 and T3. From this instant to this instant T1 to T3, what happens? This reverse recovery current removes the excess charge carriers from J1 and J3. Okay, so reverse recovery current flows due to the sweeping out of holes from p layer, top p layer, and electrons from bottom n layer. So at instant T2, so reverse recovery current flows due to the sweeping out holes from top p layer and electrons from bottom n layer. So at instant T2, when about 60% of stored charge are removed from outer 2 layers. So at instant T2, when about 60% of the stored charges are removed, what happens then? When about 60% of the stored charges are removed from the outer 2 layers, then the carrier density across J1 and J3 begins to decrease. And with this reverse recovery current, now this reverse recovery current starts decaying. See, from T1 to T2, this is like before the same di by dt slope. So from this instant to this instant, 60% of the charge carrier from the two outer layers p and n, the 60% of the charge carriers are removed. So after T2, what happens? T2 to T3, in between T2 to T3, the reverse recovery current now starts decaying fast. Okay, so from this part, see, the reverse recovery current starts decaying in fast mode. It is decayed here, and in means after T2, the reverse recovery current starts decay so fast in the beginning, but gradual thereafter. Okay, here the decay is fast, but at this position it is gradual. Okay, it is slow. The fast decay of reverse current causes a reverse voltage across the device. The fast decay of reverse current causes a reverse voltage. This is the reverse voltage. Okay, reverse voltage across the device due to the circuit inductance. See, due to the circuit inductance means inductance, due to the circuit inductance there is always one EMF, that is L di by dt. See, that is one induced EMF. Likewise, like the same, due to this fast reverse recovery current, there is a formation of reverse voltage. There is formation of reverse voltage, or the appearance of the reverse voltage across the thyristor terminal. and may therefore damage it. So this is due to the circuit inductance. Okay, so in practice this is avoided by using protective RC element across SCR. So to avoid this reverse voltage surge in the circuit, there is use of protective RC element across SCR. So what are the protection part, we will study in the later thyristor protection part. Okay, so at instant T3, when the reverse recovery current has fallen nearly to zero value, here the reverse recovery current decreases nearly to zero level. What happens here? End junctions J1 and J3 recover. Okay, so at instant T3, when all the charge carriers are removed from the junction J1 and J3, then that means now at instant T3, end junction J1 and J3 recovered. Okay, and the SCR is able to block the reverse voltage. Now the SCR is able to block the reverse voltage after T3 instant. Okay, for a thyristor, reverse recovery phenomenon between T1 and T3 is similar to the rectifier diode. Okay, so now clearly understood what happens in the time duration of reverse recovery time. So in the reverse recovery time, the reverse recovery current decays to zero, and at the end of the reverse recovery time, the reverse voltage is also now blocked by the SCR. Okay, so and at the end of reverse recovery period, that is T3, the middle junction J2 still has charge carrier, still has some trapped charges. So therefore thyristor is not able to block the forward voltage at T3. Okay, so due to the presence of charge carrier at junction J2, the thyristor is not able to block the forward voltage. So the trapped charges around J2, that means the inner two layer. Okay, this layer and this layer, inner N layer, the inner P layer. So the trapped charges around J2 cannot flow to the external circuit. See, from this region and from this region charge carriers are removed. Now the charge carriers are present in these inner two layers. So but the charge carriers, so the trap charges around J2, that means from the trap charges from the inner two layers cannot flow to the external circuit. So therefore these trap charges must decay only by the recombination process. So TRR relates to recovery process, TGR relates to recombination process. Okay, so the charge carriers from the two inner layer removed by only the recombination process. So this recombination is possible if a reverse voltage is maintained across SCR, though the magnitude of this voltage is not important. See how this recombination process happened. If I apply a reverse voltage across thyristor, that means J1 and J3 are in reverse bias and J2 is in forward bias mode. So by applying this reverse voltage, these two, in between these two layers, there is happening of the recombination of charges. Okay, so by the recombination process, the charge carrier from the inner two layer is removed by recombination process. Okay, so the rate of recombination of charges is independent of the external circuit parameter. Okay, the time for the recombination of charges between T3 to T4 is called gate recovery time. So from T3 to T4 time, the recombination process is happened. So from T3 to T4, it is called as gate recovery time. So at instant T4, junction J2 recovers. Okay, and the forward voltage can be reapplied between anode and cathode. So at T4 the J2 junction is also recovered, and now if we apply forward voltage across anode and cathode, then here see the voltage rising towards the positive direction. That means at this instant now, if we apply forward voltage across the thyristor, then this voltage is blocked. Okay, this voltage is blocked by the SCR, and the SCR is in forward blocking state. Okay, so the thyristor turn of time TQ is in the range of 3 to 100 microsecond. TQ range is 3 to 100 microsecond. Okay, the turn of time is influenced by the magnitude of forward current. This is the forward current, and di by dt at the time of commutation. This is the di by dt at the time of commutation, and the junction temperature. Okay, so an increase in the magnitude of these three factors, but that means an increase in the magnitude of forward current, or increase in the increase in the di by dt level, or increase in the junction temperature, then the thyristor turn of time may increase. Okay, if the forward current increase, if the di by dt commutation time increase, if the junction temperature increase, then the turn of time is also increases. Okay, if the value of forward current before commutation is high, then the trap charges around junction J2 is also more. Okay, if the value of forward current before commutation is high, so trap charges around junction J2 is also more. So the time required for their recombination is more, and therefore the turn of time is increased. Okay, so this is the thing, how the turn of time is maximum or minimum. What are the parameters by which turn of time is influenced? Okay, so the turn of time decreases with an increase in magnitude of reverse voltage. So if I increase the magnitude of reverse voltage across the SCR, then the turn of time is decreased, the turn of time is reduced. Okay, so particularly 0 to minus 50 volt is the reverse voltage magnitude. 0 to minus 50 volt, this is the range of reverse voltage. Okay, so high reverse voltage sucks out carriers from junction J1 and J3 and the adjacent transition region at a faster rate. So that's why we have to apply higher level of reverse voltage across thyristor. Okay, so by applying the reverse voltage in the range between 0 to minus 50 volt, and what if we apply higher reverse voltage across the thyristor, the higher reverse voltage sucks out all the carriers from the outer junctions and quickly recombine the adjacent carriers in the inner regions. Okay, at a faster rate. So the thyristor turn of time consists of TRR and TGR, reverse recovery time and gate recovery time. So the reverse recovery time relate to the recovery of junction J1 and J3, where the charge carrier from the outer P layer and outer N layer are removed, and the TGR is a gate recovery time, which is relate to the recovery of junction J2 by the recombination process, and by the recombination process the charge carrier from the inner two layers are reduced. Clearly understood? So the another term is the TC. This is the circuit turn of time. Okay, so in what happened, actually in the practical circuit, thyristor form a part of power circuit. Okay, Power circuit means let's take an example of rectifier circuit, inverter circuit, whatever. So in this circuit, thyristor just act as a switching device or a semiconductor device. Okay, so thyristor is a part of the power circuit. So the turn of time provided to the thyristor by the practical circuit is called circuit turn of time. Okay, so circuit turn of time is actually always greater than the TQ, thyristor turn of time. Okay, so whatever turn of time provided by the provided to the thyristor by the power circuit is called circuit turn of time, and circuit turn of time is usually greater than the thyristor turn of time. Okay, so the circuit turn of time defined as the time between the instant anode current becomes 0 and the instant reverse voltage due to the practical circuit reaches 0. This is reverse voltage due to the practical circuit reaches 0. This is the point. Okay, so circuit turn of time defined as the time between the instant anode current becomes 0 and the instant reverse voltage due to the practical circuit reaches 0. Okay, so TC must be greater than TQ for the reliable turn off process. Okay, so now you clearly understood about the switching characteristics of SCR during turn off process. So overall the switching characteristics of SCR during turn on and during turn off process is this is the total graphical representation of all the parameters like VG, IG, VA, IA, power loss. Okay, so now you completely understood the switching characteristics of thyristor. Okay, thank you.